I just found out my boyfriend has been cheating on me for 2 years. And that's not even the worst part. He also got her pregnant, which really fucking sucks because I've always wanted to get pregnant and he knows that. But I can't. Because I'm a man. But anyways, I met my boyfriend somewhere I thought I could find true, real, genuine love on Grindr. And even though he has a small D, a creepy face, and every fucking day he smelled like sweaty pelotas, I still fell in love with this man because he was 7 foot tall. Like, I don't know, he just makes me feel so small and he brings out the girly side of me, you know, the side my parents wish I could Uno reverse. But honestly, I should have saw this coming. He's in the military and military men are literally walking red flags. He would tell me how he's like mentally unstable, aggressive, and how he likes to punch holes in the wall. And my dumb ass self is like, oh my god, that's so hot. What the fuck is wrong with me? I'm so attracted to crazy men. Like, put me in the fucking psych ward immediately. Tell me how this man was sleeping over the other night, and me being the toxic Latina that I am, I went on his phone and I saw that he got a text message from a girl that said, hey, I think I'm pregnant. And bitch, I literally lost my fucking shit. But he basically told me it was like his crazy ex trying to get him back together and that she always does that. And my gullible ass self fucking believed him. We ended up just going to sleep, and the next day he rode my scooter back to his military base. But as soon as he left, I turned on my investigation mode, and bitch, I went on his Instagram. I didn't remember her name. I knew that her name started with the letter A, just like me. I went on his following list and I started looking at all the girls that he follows with the letter A. And there was this one girl in particular that struck out to me because she was wearing a military uniform. So I'm like, oh my god, this might be the girl. Like, maybe she's in the military just like him. I don't know if you guys know this, but in the military uniform, they have the soldier's last name stitched onto it. So I zoomed in to see the last name, and bitch, it was my boyfriend's fucking last name in the photo. I was like, no fucking way, they have to be dating, because ain't no way she would have his uniform on in her profile picture if they weren't dating, like if it wasn't something serious. So I literally texted her and I'm like, hey, fuck you, I'm gonna go pick up my scooter tomorrow and I'm over you. So the next day I go and I pick up my scooter, and then after, when I get home, I ended up DMing her. She would not fucking believe me. She was like, oh, he's super homophobic, like, are you sure you're talking about the same guy? I'm like, yes, bitch, I fucking am sure. Like, you're dating the same man I'm dating. But then when she asked me when was the last time I saw him, I was like, oh, I saw him today. I went to pick up my scooter. And then she's like, can I see a picture of your scooter? And bitch, she goes, oh my god, I was riding your scooter last night. No fucking way. Bitch, I fucking gasped. I got speechless. She finally ends up believing me, and she tells me that he already cheated on her 3 times already. And I was like, you're so dumb. Like, leave him so I can be with him. No, I'm just kidding. But like, tell me how. She's like, oh no, I haven't left him because he was my first love or whatever. Long story short, we both told each other we were over him, even though I know she kept seeing him again. Oh, and I forgot to mention that the reason I've been getting ready this whole time is because he's coming over again tonight. I know. Okay, bye, I gotta go.
Get ready with me to go break up with my cheating boyfriend. So we've been dating for a few years now, like 2 years and 2 months. I just found out he was cheating like 2 days ago, and I haven't been able to sleep properly since. Basically, I found out he was cheating because a girl DM'd me on Instagram and asked me if he was my boyfriend, and I said yes. And then she sent me pictures of them two together and told me that she didn't know he had a girlfriend. She told me that they've only been like getting together though for like 2 months, which kind of makes me feel better because we've been dating for 2 years and 2 months. Like, at least it wasn't the whole time. I'm not going to tell him that I know yet. I'm just going to see if he admits anything first, and then I'll decide how I'm gonna break up with him. So right now he thinks that we're just going to a restaurant, and then I'm going to bring her up because I knew he was friends with her, but I obviously didn't know what was happening. So I'm gonna bring her up and see how he reacts, and then I'll see if I should confront him or what to do next. I'm really hoping that he just confesses and tells me, but realistically that's not gonna happen. Since she confronted me, we kind of became friends. So if he doesn't just admit to what he's been doing, then I'm gonna have her come to the restaurant and we're gonna confront him together. Her as well because I didn't really know her that well. So obviously she didn't really know that we were dating because I don't really like to talk about it that much. But she fully thought that he was committed to her, and I know how it feels. So I've honestly always thought that his brother was cuter, but I was dating him, so I couldn't do anything about it. But now that I'm gonna be single, and his brother did ask me out, like even before he did, so I don't think that would be an issue. I really do love his mom and sister though, so I'm really hoping that me dating my now ex-boyfriend's brother isn't gonna be a problem for them. I'm really just hoping that it's not going to be awkward or anything like when I go to his house in the future because I'm dating his brother and he's just there. Good news is though, my ex-boyfriend's brother has a higher paying job though, and my goal is to marry rich so I don't have to work, so that'll be good in the future. My goal is to just never have to work a day in my life and just be a trophy wife. Ooh. After this whole dinner goes down, I will update you guys. I'm putting mascara over my eyelash extensions. Bye, guys.
Trying to cheat on me, and this is how I found out. It always is the phone. I was in a very toxic relationship and was obsessed with checking the phone. He also was obsessed with checking my phone. So I always thought, okay, he's very loyal to me, but his phone was always clean. And trust me, I was going through that phone very regularly. So there was this one night that we were on the couch, we were watching TV, and I asked to see something on his phone because my phone is dead and it's charging, and so he hands me his phone like normally, like he always does. My phone is not even in the living room, it's charging in the kitchen, and I'm with his phone on my hands. But then I hear a phone buzzing. It is not mine, it is not his. What phone is this? His whole face turns pale, and we both realize, he realizes that I'm about to find everything out, and I realize that the phone that's buzzing is coming out of his pants. And he looks at me, we're both looking at each other. He has no reaction in his face. I'm like, what phone do you have? I kid you not, he gets up and he starts running. He starts running and he locks himself in the bathroom. I don't really have to be that smart to know that with this reaction, he's obviously hiding and he has a second phone. I thought I was so smart, right? I thought I was so smart. I had like all these checkups on his phone. I was like, my boyfriend is always clean. And he had a whole different phone. He panicked so hard and he locks himself in the bathroom, but he doesn't remember that there's a spare key. I immediately go and run to the kitchen to grab the spare key. I walk into the bathroom and I just snatch the phone out of his hands. I immediately run out of the house to go into my car and I lock the car, and that's where I see everything. I mean, on this phone, nothing is hidden. Like, the amount of things that I found. I had a whole different Instagram account, like a fake Instagram account where he messaged dozens of girls. When you get cheated, you just feel so stupid. You feel like, how did I miss this out? I thought I was so smart checking his phone always, and then like he outsmarted me. He's like knocking on the window. He eventually just sits down next to the car. The most embarrassing things, I think, is that on that phone I just saw that he was getting rejected left and right. I don't know what it's worse, to actually get cheated on or to know that your boyfriend was trying to cheat on you but girls were rejecting him. I'm still with his phone and I just drive off. To my mom's house, and I've heard some horror stories about people that have caught serious diseases from their cheating boyfriends, and the most disrespectful thing you can do to someone is cheat on them. He did try to contact me, obviously, but not for the reasons you would think. I told my mom to talk to him because I didn't want to even like hear his voice, and he told my mom, you have to come pick up your daughter's stuff because I have another girlfriend and she is going to move in. I don't know, but anyways, my mom went and picked all of my stuff up from that house, and I'm never gonna see him again.
Here's how I found out my ex was cheating. Again. So Matt used to stream on Twitch, and usually I was his only audience. So one day he's streaming Resident Evil, and there's actually 4 other people watching him stream this time, and I can't see any of these other users, but someone leaves a comment. And this comment's like, hey handsome, with like a smirky face emoji, and I was like, oh, And Matt, I hear him immediately gasp, and he cuts the stream, immediately ends it. No outro, no goodbye, nothing. He just ends the video. I thought, that was a little bit weird. So I confronted him about it at work the next day. I was like, why'd you abruptly end your stream? And he was like, oh, my mom called me. Like, dude, I know you're a mama's boy, and I get serious Oedipus vibes between you and your mom, but I'm not buying that. So I remembered that username, and it's a nickname of a female name, so immediately I knew it was a girl, and we're gonna call her Megan. So I remembered this username, right? And I go look her up, and I search her in his Xbox friends, and lo and behold, they are mutual friends on Xbox. And I thought that was really weird because Matt and I would play Xbox, but he always refused to add me as a friend. But he has no problem adding this Megan girl as a friend. Weird. I do a little bit more investigating, and I find that they are unlocking the same achievements on the same day to the same games. Dude, you know what they were fucking playing? They were playing It Takes Two. They were unlocking achievements to It Takes Two. If you don't know, that's a couples game. It's a co-op couples game. I didn't know it at the time because I never had played it before, but I was like, I did some research about what that game is, and everybody online was saying it's a couples game. You know, along with some other things like Battlefield 5 and whatever, Terraria, whatever shit that else they were playing. I didn't care. But I don't say anything to him right away. I instead just decide to watch and observe for a little while. So I'm watching and I'm observing, time goes on. It is a consistent pattern. Every single time he's off from work, he's playing a video game with this Megan girl. Every time he goes no contact with me because he's off from work, he's playing with Megan. Eventually, I confront him about this. Eventually, I'm like, so who's this Megan girl? I see you're playing video games with her all the time when you're off, and you don't talk to me, so who's this girl? And she was in your live stream, she's your friend on Xbox, and you're playing video games with her, so, like, what's the deal? He was like, you're a fucking stalker, you're stalking me? Like, you're stalking her? He's like, no, you're a stalker. So he gets mad at me because I found out what he's doing on his off days, like, in his free time. And so, like, that night or, like, the very next day, I swear he went private on his entire profile. And I check her account, her profile is also private, everything. I can't see the friends list anymore. I can't see the achievements anymore. Like, it's all privated. And also, he blocked me. He was like, oh, I just met her through a game. I don't even know her in real life. Like, we don't know each other in person. I met her online. She, like, lives in Wisconsin or some shit. We don't live in Wisconsin. So I was like, okay, whatever. But I was obviously upset. I was like, why don't you make me a friend then? If you don't know this girl, why is it so hard for you to friend me on Xbox too? Like, why don't you want to do that? But it's okay for her to be your friend on Xbox? Like, what the fuck? We would argue about that shit all the time. Just me constantly demanding to know why I'm not his friend on Xbox, why this girl that he supposedly doesn't even know gets to be his friend and I don't. And, like, the whole time I know there's something going on between the two of them. I just don't have evidence. I don't have definitive proof yet. I mean, yes, his reaction and the way he's been very shady is very weird, but I don't have solid evidence, so I don't leave, which was stupid of me. I should have left. But I stuck around. I'm still snooping for more evidence. And then I look her up on other social media. I don't know why, but when I looked her up on other social media before, nothing ever came up. But one day, this fateful day, when I decided to look her up again, I find her here on TikTok. She's going by the same username and everything as she does online. So I'm going through her TikTok, okay? Her bio is literally our location, our city, our state. And her TikTok profile is just filled with videos and pictures of her and Matt together. I was like, oh my god, I fucking got you. Like, this is obviously your girlfriend. I start taking screenshots of everything, and then I send her, I don't send her the DM yet, but I go back to mine and Matt's conversations together, and I start screenshotting as much of that as possible, because I know as soon as I alert this girl, she might, like, tell him, and then he might start deleting evidence. So I start saving as much as I possibly can. And then I DM her. I sent her that hey girly DM, and then I was like, hey, your boyfriend, like, he's cheating on you with me at work. We're coworkers. Like, I know where he lives, blah, blah, blah. And then she wanted evidence as I thought she would. So we we exchanged numbers, and then over text, I sent her pictures of mine and Matt's conversations. And yeah, this bitch stayed with him. She got the proof and everything, and she still stayed with him. And I warned her. I was like, girl, you can have him. Like, you don't ever have to worry about me. Like, I do not want this man. I literally went no contact with him. I blocked him on everything. I quit my job. I never set foot back inside that place. She was like, will you let me know if he tries reaching out to you again? I was like, girl. 2 months later, he fucking did. He tried reaching out to me on Xbox, the one place I forgot to block him. He sent me a DM. He was like, hey, Cindy, can we talk? I literally read it, deleted it, and blocked him. But I did not tell his girlfriend he tried reaching out to me again because, like, I wanted nothing to do with it at that point. I wanted to be done and over with this. So, Megan, if you're watching this, yeah, he did try reaching out to me again. And I warned this girl, I warned Megan, I was like, dude, when the dust settles, you know, he's gonna do this to you again. He's gonna cheat on you again. You know, work is his hunting grounds. That's where he can find victims where you will never find out about. And I only found out because I'm a stubborn bitch and I'm nosy and I'm a fucking detective. Of course I was gonna find out, but probably no one in the future is gonna do this. So this is probably not gonna happen again, so just be forewarned. You're going to be cheated on again, and it's going to be 100 times harder for you to find out next time. So, yeah, she stayed with him, and then several months go by, and I still keep in contact with old friends and coworkers from that place. Matt still works there. I do not, but my old coworkers are updating me. They're like, girl, he's like cheating on that girlfriend of his again. Like, he's got new side pieces at work now. And I was like, what the fuck did I say? Narcissists don't change. He is cheating on Megan again. And he always will. It will be a cycle that will always continue forever. But that's my story of how I found out that I was being played the entire time. If you watch my previous parts, you know that I was with Matt for almost 3 years. And the whole entire time, Megan existed. They actually started dating a whole year before Matt and I even met. So yeah, wild how the entire time I could think that I was the main girl and everything, and the entire time I was just really the side piece.
Y'all didn't seriously think I was gonna leave you hanging on this one, did you? Of course not. I have an update. If you haven't seen part 1, go watch that. But to catch everybody up, I learned that my husband was having an affair and was gonna be going on a romantic resort weekend with his mistress. So I decided to confront them and go to the same resort. As I'm on the way to the airport, I get a call from somebody I did not expect to hear from, which was my husband's mistress's husband. And he told me that he's changed his mind and he actually decided that he wanted to come along to the resort and see the revenge happen firsthand, which was so exciting for me. I said, do not even worry about it, babe. I will book you a room on my husband's card because, again, he deserves it. He's the worst. You know what I mean? So, you know, he owes you too. He's having an affair with your wife. He owes you a nice little weekend. Now, for the sake of the story, we're going to call my husband's mistress's husband Jack, because husband's mistress's husband, that's a mouthful, okay? I made sure that me and Jack's rooms were both on the opposite ends of my husband and his mistress's room. So we were really just sandwiching them in for the weekend. As soon as I got to the resort, I went right up to my room to hide, because the worst thing that could happen is my husband or his mistress seeing me before this whole plan commenced. It would have ruined everything. So I kind of hid in my room until Jack arrived. And when he did, our plan begun, because he brought all of his evidence of his wife's affair. So we had a ton of papers that we were ready to hang all around their room. I saw in their itinerary that they had lunch planned and then a couples massage. So we didn't have a lot of time, but we had about 2.5 hours, which was more than enough for us to get our plan into action. I go down to the concierge and I play the little damsel in distress role. I'm like, I am so sorry to bother you, but I must have misplaced the key to me and my husband's hotel room. I am just so embarrassed about it. He is always saying I'm losing things and I don't want him to know I lost it. Is there any way that you could just get me another key? Honestly, it was kind of concerning how easily I was able to get a key to their room. He just asked for the name on the room. I told him it was my husband's name. I showed him a credit card with my husband's name on it, and I showed him my ID, which had our shared last name, and he printed me a copy. And that's where our plan really took off, because we went into my husband and his mistress's room and we started taping all the evidence to the walls. Obviously, right in the center were those signed divorce papers and the prenup with the cheating clause that showed that my husband was going to lose a ton of money based on this little affair. Knowing about the affair for a month before doing this helped so much because I was already desensitized to the whole thing. So I was really just enjoying the plan rather than being sad about it. After we were done hanging all the evidence on the walls, we went back to my hotel room to patiently wait for them to return. And we knew when they did, based on his mistress's loud shriek. Now remember, our hotel rooms were right next to theirs, so we could hear everything that was going on. We couldn't hear exactly word for word what they were saying, but we could tell there was a lot of commotion. And within 3 minutes of them getting back, they were blowing up both of our phones. My husband was calling me, his mistress was calling Jack over and over and over, and we were living it up. It was hilarious. We finally decide that I should be the one to answer, so I pick up the phone when my husband calls for the 1,000,000th time, and I'm just cool, calm, and collected, and I'm like, hey babe, what's up? How's your work trip? And he's like, Kels, what is going on? And I was like, what are you talking about? And he's like, don't play dumb with me. And I was like, what? Oh, are you talking about the surprise I left you in your room? Yeah, I thought that was really cute, right? And then he starts, this is all a misunderstanding. You have no idea what's going on. I was like, it's obviously not a misunderstanding. Did you see all the evidence? Like, it's all right there. Like, this is clearly not a misunderstanding, but it's cute. You're still trying to argue and gaslight me. Aw, like our entire marriage. Then he's like, when I find out what employee helped you put all these things up, I'm going to make sure they're fired. And that's when I realized he doesn't think I'm actually there. He thinks that I worked with somebody at the resort and they went in and hung all that stuff up. This was way more fun than I thought. I said, babe, you know what you always tell me? If you want something done right, you gotta do it yourself. And that's when the line goes dead silent. And when he starts talking again, I can hear the panic in his voice. He's like, Kels, don't mess with me right now. You're home, right? I know you have to be home. Like, you're home, right? And I was like, babe, calm down. I just thought it wasn't fair that you were gonna get a nice little resort weekend and I wasn't. I was like, don't worry, babe. I'm sure you'll see me around. It's not that big of a resort. And just so you know, I'm staying an extra 3 days so that you have time to get home and move all your stuff out of our house before I get home. Then I hung up and blocked his number. Part 1 of our plan went perfectly, but part 2 of the plan, ruining their entire weekend, that had just started.
She was like, who is this? And I was like, bitch, I'm the owner of the house that you just fucking ruined. What are the craziest ways that you've known that somebody is cheating on you? Because listen, this is how I found out that my man was cheating on me. Fake. I'm also sick, that's why I sound like this. Fuck you. So this was back in the summertime of this past year. I went to the beach with my man and we was taking some cute pictures, everything. And tell me why. Yeah. Tell me why I post our pictures. Like I post them like we cute, like little couple pictures. Tell me why I go to his account. He posts the same pictures, but I'm cropped out. What? Yo. Like, you ain't even look that good. It was me that looked good in those pictures, so why the fuck you cropping me out? You should have cropped yourself out, Zach. So anyway, by the way, I forgot to tell you, y'all, this was like his, like, not main account. This was like his spam account. Why a man got a spam account, I don't know, but listen. Yo, chill on me, Zach. Anyways, I forgot to say that, like, it wasn't like I was just cropped out. It was like fully photoshopped too, because it was like I was removed. Like I was erased from the damn picture. Like it was like I was never fucking there. Like this dumbass, he forgot to remove me from the reflection in his sunglasses. So when I zoom in and I look closer, I was like, why is there a picture of me on Instagram? And that's why I'm like, why are y'all so stupid? Like, why are you stupid? If you're gonna cheat, at least cheat better. Yo, chill. Don't do it at all, but anyway, I screenshot the picture, I zoom in, and then I post it on my story, and I'm like, y'all, hey. Yo, apparently I wasn't the only one that noticed my reflection in the damn sunglasses, because some girl slid up on that story, slid up on his story, sent him a message and was like, who the fuck is that? Yo, baby, you're the other woman, not me. Not me, yeah. So I didn't see it, like he didn't tell me that she sent that, but she takes a screenshot of the text. Yo, there's so many screenshots on this, but she takes a screenshot of the messages that she was sending him. Screenshots, sends them to me because she saw my story and was like, oh my God, is this you? And I was like, yeah. And we had like this really long convo about like the whole thing, like how like we were literally together. And then she was like, the other woman. The other woman. It's fine, like honestly, like her and I are still friends. Her and I are still friends to this day. And you know what? I ended things with him the moment that I fucking found out. Because what do I look like staying in that? No. Goodbye. Well, I'm not the only one that kind of likes having like a raspy, like sick voice. Like I kind of am like living for this, actually. Yeah. Okay, you guys, that was my little cheating story. Bye.
Get ready with me what I tell you how I found out that my ex was cheating on me. So to give you some context, this was my first love back in high school. Or for those who don't know, I actually grew up back in Europe. Once you're done with high school, you can either start your bachelor right away, so go to university, or some people actually do a gap year and they leave for a year to another country. We decided to get together the summer after high school, basically after our last year of school. Together in July, and he was leaving for Italy for his gap year in September. So you know, bad vibes. We just got together, and he's gonna go a full year to another country with other girls, and you know, we're not that stable to have this type of challenge. Just focused on school. I was a hardcore, like I never went out. I was just studying, trying to think about something else, and we were still calling each other. I remember it was on Skype back then, and it was working. But there was this one girl I had a bad feeling about. She was French and in the same program over there, and she was really clingy and always posting him on her Facebook. At the time it was Facebook, on her Facebook, and they were joking a bit too much. Told him about her, and I was like, well, I don't really like her vibe. I feel like she's too much on you. Like, is there something you can tell me? Like, just let me know, you know? And he was like, oh no, you know, she's really cool. You should meet her. She's super chill. Like, we're just friends. I decided to visit him, right? I was like, okay, I need to see what's going on. I need to see like what you're doing in Italy. Show me everything. I need to meet this girl. In my head, I was like, oh yeah, that's my. Introduce me to her. He's like, the worst thing, like my pride. I was so prideful back then. And you know what he said when he introduced me to her? He was like, you see, she's nice, huh? Bitch, what? She's pretty cool. She's like super nice to me. She's like super welcoming. You didn't give me any hint that I should be worried about her because she met me. So why would she even try to do something with him? She met me. You know, like, we're cool. We're girls over here. Not so much. But the thing that was weird is that we planned on doing an activity, like for a full day, like visiting the lakes or whatever, and he wanted to invite her when I haven't seen him in 6 months. Why do you want to invite her? Like, while we just having time together? I was just there for 3 days. Go back home, and you know, 6 other months go by. He comes back to my hometown. So I keep having the same dream. I keep having this dream. Me finding a picture on my computer or his computer, like with them together. And I keep dreaming about her. So we're in the south of France. We're there for summer. We're at his grandparents' vacation. They have a house over there, and they're there. They're staying with us. By the way, his grandpa is the rudest person I've ever met. But that's for another video. He goes to go for a run. And I'm like, you know what? This is my chance. He left his phone inside the room. Let me have a look. There was like some storm preparing. You know, something was going to happen. You could tell it was electric. I decided to check his phone, right? I'm like, okay, this is my chance. Like, whatever. I'm sure I'm not going to find anything, you know, crazy, but might as well just to have a peace of mind about this girl that I keep thinking about a year later. Go through his conversation with her on Facebook Messenger, and girl, I wasn't disappointed. Basically saying, oh yeah, I want you so bad. You know, if I was single, I would F her
F you, and like, I want you so bad. That one time we had a sleepover, I almost like, I almost folded and stuff, and I'm like, huh? Then you know what I decide to do? I'm like, I need to figure out more. I go to his group chat with his homies, and that was, oh, girl, I'm still traumatized, and it's been like what, 6 years? Homeboy, he keeps sending pictures of her and be like, oh, she's so bad, like I want her so bad. And you know what his homeboy said? Oh, you're not cheating on Salome with her, like just for Salome? Boy, basically meaning Salome is not as bad, like just cheat on her, like it's gonna be worth it. And keep in mind, his friends were my friends too. We were all in high school together. Like, I see that and I'm fuming. And what was a bad sign is that throughout our whole relationship, everyone was mean to him, basically saying that I was out of his league, and he got mad every time. And I really think that men cheat when they feel insecure, or they feel like maybe their partner is like above them. And yeah, that was really interesting to me, that he was the one cheating when he was always scared that I was cheating and always toxic and jealous of everything that I was doing. It didn't make sense. Oh, and he also kissed his ex while we were together. So, and 2 of my friends knew about it and didn't tell me. 2 of my girlfriends, because they wanted to stay close to the guy instead of, protecting my own feelings, the girl. You better bet that I cut them off after that. If you want more, go to part 2.
I like to think of myself as an equal opportunist. So let's talk about the time that I cheated. Now, I may be a little biased, but the circumstances were way different. But regardless, I'm gonna let you guys be the judge and the jury. I met my ex on season 1 of Ex on the Beach, and even though our relationship was rocky from the start, I had a lot of love for him. So much love that I gave up my entire life in New Jersey and drove all the way across the country to live with him in LA. Looking back, we definitely rushed into things, but of course, hindsight is 2020. Not to mention, he was less than honest about his finances and his living situation. But again, I was in love, so I was doing anything to make it work. And then things went from bad to worse when I got called for the challenge and he didn't. It was always his dream to be on the challenge, and everyone thought he was a front runner, and then I got cast. So he started to treat me even worse. It got so bad that I was crying myself to sleep every single night. And still, I really wanted to make it work. But the closer I got to my departure date, the worse he treated me. But it didn't hit me until a week before I was leaving that I wanted out of this relationship. But it's not like I could just pick up and leave and drive across the country. I was leaving for another show in a few days. And this is where I made my first mistake. Fun fact, when you film the challenge, you have to assign a social surrogate to take over your Instagram and any other social media accounts you may have to post as if you're still home. And if you don't assign a surrogate, you are not allowed to post anything until the last day of filming, so nobody knows when you're eliminated. So who do you think I made my surrogate? In my defense, I had very limited options. My mom didn't understand social media like that, and silly me thought I could trust the man that I was sleeping with every single night. I also gave him the password to my PayPal account to transfer funds as brands paid me. Again, very stupid on my part, but at this time I was living paycheck to paycheck, and again, he was the only person I thought I could trust. I also paid my rent 3 months in advance so he wouldn't have to pay my part while I was gone. Just all so dumb of me. Very, very dumb. But still, I had hope that we could work it out, and maybe we just needed this separation to realize how much we love and care about each other, and when we come home, we'll be a completely different couple. So I left all of my belongings, my car, my socials, my PayPal, all in his hands and left to go film the challenge. And it didn't take me long to start missing him because the cast wasn't that welcoming to me. The women specifically isolated me, and funny enough, they did this to one of my male castmates as well. And what happens when you put 2 people in a corner together? So over the course of the next few weeks, I got really close with this male cast member. And one night under the South African stars, we kissed. Like straight up caught in 4K. But instant karma hit me like a ton of bricks because I was eliminated the very next night. However, with the Redemption House twist, I did not go home for another week. I wasn't sure who knew about me and this person's kiss, but I got paranoid really quick. Because I didn't get along with anyone, I thought for sure someone was gonna go home or find a way to tell my boyfriend at the time that I cheated. Baby, I was ready to go home. And not because I wanted things to work with him. I really just wanted to pack up my stuff and leave and move back home. Me and my partner wound up getting sent home from the redemption house, and I was about to be back in LA. Like, no more redemption house, we were done with the game. So the first thing I did when I got my phone back was change all of my passwords, obviously. Then I checked my PayPal account and realized that my ex had stolen from me. That's a different story for a different day. Let's push on. Instead of transferring the funds I received from brands into my PayPal account, he transferred them into his. And my heart sank. I fell to the floor in my hotel room. He, of course, was the first call I made when I got my phone, and when he picked up, his eyes lit up and he just looked so happy to see me. And even though I knew that he stole from me, I felt really, really guilty for what he was about to find out. But I could also tell he had no idea what went down, so I was relieved. Now I just needed to get to LA and get my stuff out of his apartment and drive across the country before he found out. But MTV had different plans for me, because even before I left from South Africa, I got a call from the head of talent at MTV saying that they wanted me as a guest on TRL in New York, so I would only be in LA for less than 12 hours before having to fly out. And who's gonna pass up TRL, you know? So after 25 plus hours traveling from South Africa to LA, I had to hop on a red eye from LA to New York, and then came back a day later. And still, he had no idea. 2 days later was the premiere of our show, which we watched together with another one of our castmates who happened to be my best friend. And that's when I made the mistake of telling my best friend that I cheated, because then she went and told her boyfriend, who was best friends with my boyfriend, and that's how he found out. But luckily, by the grace of God, I was already halfway across the country, baby. And that marked the end of my relationship and my friendship. Me and my ex went on to film Ex on the Beach season 2, and that was our storyline. Me cheating on him and him stealing from me opened up so many doors in the weirdest way. Would I cheat on anyone else ever again? No. Would I cheat on him again if I had the chance? Absolutely.
Tell the truth, I look better under you. I can't lose when I'm with you.
This claims to reduce fine lines, relieve puffiness, and brighten dark circles. Disclaimer, results may vary depending on skin type.
I found out my fiance was cheating on me on our wedding day, so I decided to go on our honeymoon with his best friend. If you haven't seen part 1, go watch that and come back here. But yes, I exposed my cheating fiance at the altar, like mid-ceremony, veil on, vows ready. Then I walked myself right down the aisle and went to the reception because we were still gonna celebrate. It was iconic, but also a little soul-crushing. But now it's time to talk about what happened after the scandal. When I finally get to the reception, it felt like my dignity was barely hanging on by a thread, because everybody in my life did just find out that I was being cheated on. And the reality of this situation is all of the plans that I'd spent years making with my fiance for our future just crumbled right in front of my eyes, actually in front of everybody's eyes. But I needed to repress that. I really couldn't think about that at this moment. So the guests start coming in. A lot of them are a little confused how they're supposed to be feeling or acting, but I am just having the time of my life, dancing with all my friends, pretending like it's the best day of my life. But you can only hold that facade for so long. Because at some point, they had brought the cake out. And when I saw that cake and the 2 little custom figurines that we had made to look just like me and my fiance, I knew I was gonna lose it. But I couldn't let these people see me cry. I had to keep a brave face on. So I was like, okay, everybody, I need to go to the bathroom for a minute. And I'll admit it, I did have a little crash out moment. Luckily, I was wearing waterproof makeup, so you couldn't really tell. And after 10 minutes of sitting on the bathroom floor, contemplating my entire life, I was like, okay, girl, you gotta get back in there. And as I'm walking out of the bathroom, I run right into my ex's best friend. Let's call him Ben. Ben and my ex had been friends for years, and he's always been loyal to a fault. But as soon as he saw me, he got very close to my face and said, "You've always deserved better." I was like, oh, okay, Ben. That's when he drops the biggest bomb on me. He tells me that he needed to get something off his chest and it's been eating away at him. But my ex had been cheating on me with multiple women for years, almost our entire relationship. And immediately I'm pissed, right? Because why didn't he tell me he was just going to let me marry that man who was obviously just going to cheat on me for our entire marriage until I found out? Now, the caveat to all of this is that Ben and my ex are co-founders of a business. So they're not just friends, they're business partners. My ex told Ben that if he ever told me that he was cheating, he would ruin him. And he would do this by ruining their company. Now, my ex came from a lot of family money, so he would have been fine without the business, but that business was Ben's number one source of income. And Ben also supports a lot of members of his family. So losing the company, it just wasn't an option. Ben told me that it had been eating him alive to not be able to tell me the truth, but my ex used the one piece of power over Ben that he had and the one thing that he knew would keep Ben quiet. I have no doubt that if Ben would have told me the truth, my ex would have run that company right into the ground to get back at him. So on one hand, I was really sad and hurt and betrayed, but on the other, I understood, like, what was he supposed to do? And Ben obviously felt bad because the man was tearing up as he's apologizing to me and telling me how bad he felt. And I forgave him because honestly, I already have enough issues going on. I don't need to have resentment for this man too, okay? I just need to move on. Yeah, it wasn't just Ben, actually. My fiance's entire inner circle also knew he was cheating. None of them seemed to feel bad about not telling me other than Ben, so that's great. I'm like, okay, enough drama, enough being sad. I'm going back into my reception and I'm gonna have fun. So I go back, I'm dancing with my friends and just gonna clean that up, okay. And towards the end of the night, Ben comes up to me and he's like, hey, you better not be canceling that honeymoon. And if you need a +1, I'd be more than happy to go with you. Okay. And I'm laughing because I think the man is joking, but no, he was not laughing. He was like, I'm serious. I think we'd have a really good time together. Loyal to a fault? I guess not. Now, I couldn't even process this, so I just kind of brushed him off. I was like, Ben, you're so funny. And then I just pretended like he never offered it and went home. And I made the decision that I was just going to go on my honeymoon by myself because I thought it would be a really good time to just decompress, think about next steps, and really focus on myself. But then, as I was actually packing for the honeymoon, I realized, do I really want to go by myself? It would be more fun to have a +1. So I pick up my phone and I give Ben a call. I'm like, hey, I don't know if you remember, but you offered to be my +1 on my honeymoon. I don't know if that offer still stands. So fine. He interrupts. He's like, yeah, I would love to. Let's do it. When are we leaving? So Ben's on his way to pick me up to go to the airport. And I guess I am about to have my honeymoon, just not with the man I expected. Wish me luck.
Okay, you guys, get ready with me for Pico while I tell you guys a story time about how I got cheated on literally the whole relationship. Anyways, so let's call this man, let's call this man, I can't think of a name, but let's call this man Robert. Okay, so I met this man on Instagram, literally red flag from the start. I should have fucking known. Okay, so me and Robert, he texted me first. I never answered it. I never opened it. He unsent it. And later he posted on his story, like, talk to me. And I was like, okay, why not? Let me just talk, you know? And he replied to it and he texted me from there and that's how we started talking. And, okay, so now we're in the talking stage for like 3 months. So we hang out before we start dating. I forgot what month it was, but I think it was February. And that's the first time we ever met in real life at my school, right? Okay, whatever's, right? So we start dating and I forgot what month, honestly, like I completely forgot like the months and the dates, but we start dating like after our 3 months of talking. Okay, but literally the month we started talking, that month, this girl requested me on my Instagram. I didn't think anything of it because, you know, like it's nothing weird, right? So whenever somebody requests me, I go through her account and I like see who they are before I accept them, right? So as I was going through this girl's account, on her account she had a highlight, and remember how his name is Robert, but there was an R on the highlight, and I was like, oh, like, you know, let me look at it. And I could not fucking lie, dude, this was literally my boyfriend on her fucking highlight, and they've been dating while we were dating. And I was like, right? So I'm telling you, I'm literally in the car when I find out, and my mom didn't know that we were dating because I was keeping it on the low. And dude, I was tearing up and I couldn't like fucking cry. She'd be like, why are you crying, you know? And I couldn't tell her. So I had my first communion practice thingy at church, so everything goes down literally at church. Like, what the heck, literally embarrassing. So I was debating who I should text first, if I should text the girl to confirm it is him, even though like I could literally see his face, like all his accessories, like I knew it was him, but I still wanted it to come from her. So I texted her first, you know, I kind of sent the hey girly text, and I was like asking like who it was, this and this and this, and she blocked me. She literally fucking blocked me. Anyways, I always come up on their fucking For You page, so if this comes up on the For You page, it's literally nothing that serious. Like, it's just a story time, and I'm not even saying your guys' name, so please. Anyways, go to part 2.
My boyfriend was trying to cheat on me, and this is how I found out. It always is the phone. I was in a very toxic relationship and was obsessed with checking the phone. He also was obsessed with checking my phone. So I always thought, okay, he's very loyal to me. His phone was always clean. And trust me, I was going through that phone very regularly. So there was this one night that we were on the couch, we were watching TV, and I asked to see something on his phone because my phone is dead and it's charging, and so he hands me his phone like normally, like he always does. My phone is not even in the living room, it's charging in the kitchen, and I'm with his phone on my hands. But then I hear a phone buzzing. It is not mine, it is not his. What phone is this? His whole face turns pale, and we both realize, he realizes that I'm about to find everything out, and I realize that the phone that's buzzing is coming out of his pants. And he looks at me, we're both looking at each other. He has no reaction in his face. I'm like, what phone do you have? I could you not, he gets up and he starts running. He starts running and he locks himself in the bathroom. I don't really have to be that smart to know that with this reaction, he's obviously hiding and he has a second phone. I thought I was so smart, right? I thought I was so smart. I had like all these checkups on his phone. I was like, my boyfriend is always clean. And he had a whole different phone. He panicked so hard and he locks himself in the bathroom, but he doesn't remember that there's a spare key. I immediately go and run to the kitchen to grab the spare key. I walk into the bathroom and I just snatch the phone out of his hands. I immediately run out of the house to go into my car and I lock the car, and that's where I see everything. I mean, on this phone, nothing is hidden. Like, the amount of things that I found. I had a whole different Instagram account, like a fake Instagram account where he messaged dozens of girls. When you get cheated, you just feel so stupid. You feel like, how did I miss this out? I thought I was so smart checking his phone always, and then like he outsmarted me. He's like knocking on the window. He eventually just sits down next to the car. The most embarrassing things, I think, is that on that phone I just saw that he was getting rejected left and right. I don't know what it's worse, to actually get cheated on or to know that your boyfriend was trying to cheat on you but girls were rejecting him. I'm still with his phone and I just drive off. To my mom's house, and I've heard some horror stories about people that have caught serious diseases from their cheating boyfriends, and the most disrespectful thing you can do to someone is cheat on them. He did try to contact me, obviously, but not for the reasons you would think. I told my mom to talk to him because I didn't want to even like hear his voice, and he told my mom, you have to come pick up your daughter's stuff because I have another girlfriend and she is going to move in. I don't know, but anyways, my mom went and picked all of my stuff up from that house, and I'm never gonna see him again.
Get ready with me to go break up with my cheating boyfriend. So we've been dating for a few years now, like 2 years and 2 months. I just found out he was cheating like 2 days ago, and I haven't been able to sleep properly since. Basically, I found out he was cheating because a girl DM'd me on Instagram and asked me if he was my boyfriend, and I said yes, and then she sent me pictures of them two together and told me that she didn't know he had a girlfriend. She told me that they've only been like getting together though for like 2 months, which kind of makes me feel better because we've been dating for 2 years and 2 months. Like, at least it wasn't the whole time. I'm not going to tell him that I know yet. I'm just going to see if he admits anything first, and then I'll decide how I'm going to break up with him. So right now he thinks that we're just going to a restaurant, and then I'm going to bring her up because I knew he was friends with her, but I obviously didn't know what was happening. So I'm going to bring her up and see how he reacts, and then I'll see if I should confront him or what to do next. I'm really hoping that he just confesses and tells me, but realistically it's not going to happen. Since she confronted me, we kind of became friends. So if he doesn't just admit to what he's been doing, then I'm going to have her come to the restaurant and we're going to confront him together. Her as well, because I didn't really know her that well, so obviously she didn't really know that we were dating because I don't really like to talk about it that much, but she fully thought that he was committed to her, and I know how it feels, so that's... I've honestly always thought that his brother was cuter, but I was dating him, so I couldn't do anything about it. But now that I'm gonna be single, And his brother did ask me out, like even before he did, so I don't think that would be an issue. I really do love his mom and sister though, so I'm really hoping that me dating my now ex-boyfriend's brother isn't going to be a problem for them. I'm really just hoping that it's not going to be awkward or anything like when I go to his house in the future because I'm dating his brother and he's just there. Good news is though, my ex-boyfriend's brother has a higher paying job though, and my goal is to marry rich so I don't have to work, so that'll be good in the future. My goal is to just never have to work a day in my life and just be a trophy wife. After this whole dinner goes down, I will update you guys. I'm putting mascara over my eyelash extensions.
About one of my worst ex-boyfriends ever, and as usual I want you guys to get ready with me, so bookmark this video if you have to, but you can also do your skincare, crochet, take a shit, garden, draw, whatever you want to do. We're on FaceTime right now. Also, depending on how much I yap, there's probably going to be a part 2, so I'm sorry about that. So before I even start, I need you guys to understand that I was like fully the ugliest version of myself sophomore year. I looked so bad. I had bangs, I hated them, I pinned them back, I pulled out all my eyebrows because of my tricho, like. And that picture in particular is a good picture of me during that time. So my options for the dating pool were pretty fucking limited because I was also undiagnosed autistic and didn't know how to communicate with people. So people thought I was weird. You know how it is. So I went to a new school sophomore year and I was in a math class with juniors and sophomores. And there was a kid that sat in front of me. And for whatever reason, at the time, I thought he was cute. Maybe it's because I was so fucking ugly that I thought he was in my league. But when I tell you guys he looks like a fucking Roblox character, and I say looks because he still does, like, he does. So one day, I get his Snapchat, or he gets mine, whatever, we start talking, and he sends me a question game, which, I'm sorry guys, I think we all know that this relationship was not heading in the right direction just from that alone. But then he asked me if I want to hang out with him, and I'm so excited because I had a crush on him, and I was like, yes, like, let's do it. So he picks me up, and he's not even supposed to be driving me because he was on his, like, fucking JOL, which I don't know if it's the same in every state or whatever, but I think it means that, like, only you can only drive with your parents until you get, like, your real license, whatever. That doesn't really matter. But he picks me up, and our plan is to go to Panera. So we get there, and we get to the fucking mall parking lot, and this man is, like, leaning his seat back. He's like, I just want to hang out back here a little bit. You guys can figure out what happens. I was young, I was dumb, and I wanted male validation really bad. But anyway, after that, I was like, okay, so, like, we're gonna go to Panera now, right? He's like, I don't really want Panera, honestly. Like, what about McDonald's? And I'm like, okay. So we go into the McDonald's, and I order my food. He orders his food. The food comes to, I remember this to this day. The food came to like $12.87. He looks in his wallet. No fucking money. He had $5. So then I had to pay for it. And not only did I just pay for my food, I ended up paying for his food. Which, looking back, is so crazy. Because, like, clearly he never intended on taking me in to actually get food. But I was, like, love struck by this man at this point. I was so, like, obsessed with him. I wanted to be with him all the time because I was really dumb. And I was like, oh my god, like, I think he likes me. And, I mean, to be fair, he did start love bombing me after that. He was like, I like you so much. I've never been able to, like, joke and laugh with a girl like this before, blah, 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 blah. Lo and behold, we start dating. So, that's kind of how all this began. It's, like I said, not a good way to start a relationship. So, now we've been dating for a little bit. I think it was, like, a month or two. And he invites me on, like, his family camping trip. I should say glamping because it was more like glamping, which is more my speed anyway because I'm not fucking sleeping in a tent. But anyway, we go and he goes to the bathroom for whatever reason, probably take a shit, I don't know. And I'm like, I'm gonna go through his phone because at this point in time, like, y'all saw what I look like. I was like, why does this man want to date me? Because he was like kind of popular. Like, he was like a lacrosse player. He was new to the school too, but like he was like, you know, he was a lot more high on the social hierarchy than me. And I was like, I feel like this is like all too good to be true, whatever, which is insane. My standards were clearly in hell. But I go through his phone and I find him having this conversation with some bitch named Pearl. And I'm like, who the fuck is Pearl? And it was like semi-recent. So I open it. The first thing that's sent in their chat that's saved is that fucking 20 questions picture. And the second one is a weenie pic. And she didn't send the weenie pic. You guys can figure it out. So he comes back from the bathroom and I'm like, what the fuck is this? I'm mad as fuck. And he's like, oh, that was from before we were dating. Like, why are you even on my phone? What's wrong with you? Blah, blah, blah. He gets mad at me. And I'm like, I slide the thing. And I'm like, bitch, don't even fucking lie. Like, this is not from before we were dating. This is from, like, last week. So he's like, well, I meant to send it to you, but it was an accident, and it got sent to her, and I told her to fuck off. And I'm just like, okay, well, if you told her to fuck off, why isn't she blocked? Like, everything he was saying wasn't making sense. And I'm shutting down everything. So this man proceeds to go punch a hole in the camper door and then, like, run out of the house. So then his mom is like, what's going on? I'm like, I want to go home. So I'm texting my mom. I'm like, can you please come pick me up? Mind you, we were pretty far from, like, where we live. So this would have been, like, an hour, 2-hour drive. So I was stuck there now at this point. I'm crying in the living room. The mom doesn't know what's going on. She's asking me a million questions. I don't want to fucking talk to her about it. So he comes back. I hear him go into the little room. It doesn't really have, like, a door on the actual room part of the camper. Oh, Kiwi's here. And I just hear him, like, sobbing loudly. And for some reason, this was enough to manipulate me to go in there and basically start fucking comforting him. Like, I'm not gonna sugarcoat shit with you guys. I was fully pathetic. I literally was dumb. I had abandonment issues, and I just didn't want to face the music in this scenario. So I just decided, I was like, you know what? I believe you. I'm, like, spooning him where he's the little spoon. I'm like, I believe you. Like, I know that you wouldn't do this to hurt me because you care about me so much. I'm, like, saying this, trying to convince myself we continue to date. Mind you, I've already told all my friends about this, and all my friends are like, I think you might be, like, stupid. Like, I don't know what's not clicking for you, but like I said, I wanted to live in my own delusion, and I just would get annoyed when people bring it up, which, you know. So after this, he proceeds to be the worst fucking boyfriend ever. I'm not gonna go into it because it's too personal for me to share on TikTok. And I mean, I have fucking tattoo about it. I have songs about it. You guys can figure it out. But he also had this friend who I'm gonna call Noah because I don't even remember what his real name was. And Noah was kind of like the laughing stock of his friend group from, like, his old school. And they would always say that he was, like, secretly gay because he supposedly hooked up with the one openly gay kid that was at their old school, who I'm gonna call Brian for the sake of this video. And I just remember that keep that in mind for the future. So I don't remember if I gave my boyfriend a fake name in this story. So just from now on, if I use a name, it's going to be Adam, and it's not his real name. But one time I was chilling in the library, I'm getting work done, and one of my friends come up to me, and she's like, hey, I need to talk to you about Adam because he sent, like, something really weird to one of my friends. And I'm like, okay, like, let me see it. And she shows it to me, and it's that fucking question game. And I'm like, you gotta be fucking with me right now. Like, this cannot be serious. So I'm, like, about to fucking kill him. I start blowing up his fucking phone, literally, like, screaming at him through text. I'm like, you're fucking cheating on me. Like, you tried to fucking cheat on me. Because, mind you, also around this time, he has gotten really close with this girl that I'm gonna call Tina for the sake of this video. They're always texting, they're always hanging out, they're, like, sending hearts to each other. And I'm, like, very uncomfortable by that. So, like, the cheating air was, I was breathing it in, basically. And he is like, I would never, ever send that to her. Like, seriously, I thought she had a crush on me, which is why I sent it to her. I just wanted to prove myself right. And I'm like, that's the dumbest thing I ever heard in my fucking life. But he's like, no, I promise I would never do that. Like, she's ugly, blah, blah. And I'm just like, again, one of these situations where he just, like, manipulated me into not seeing what was actually fucking happening. So I let it go. And I never, like, had anything against the girl after that because, guys, I knew damn well. Like, I wasn't stupid. I knew damn well, but I just was choosing not to believe it for my own sanity. And we move on after that. So now he's a senior, and he goes on the school, like, Disney trip that he gets to go on. And I don't get to go because I wasn't a senior. And he texts me while he's on this trip, and he's like, Tina got too drunk, so I carried her back to her room. So like, if anybody tells you that they saw us go into a room together, like, I just want you to know, like, it's not what it looks like, blah blah. And my dumbass was like, okay, like, wow, you're such a good guy, like, carrying her back to her room. Like, I'm like, right on my head. But I figured I'd mention that because I think that this man had like realized that like he could just blatantly cheat on me, and I just like would either like pretend not to believe it and like move on, or it would just go right over my head. And I think he got pretty used to that. But I'm gonna have to cut this video here and do a part 2. Oh my god, Kiwi. But yeah, I'm gonna post part 2 at the same time that I post this one, just to make it easy for you guys. I don't want to make you wait because I'm still getting ready, and it gets really fucking insane after this, so you're gonna want to see it. See you over there.